it makes me really want to have a boyfriend. Is that weird? Have you ever had a fragrance that smelled so good that you want to smell it on a guy? I would love to smell this on a guy. Hey guys, it's Lisa here, and today I will be sharing my thoughts on YSL's Babycat. So this fragrance came out last year and the hype around it was huge. And I heard many influencers and YouTubers talking about how good this fragrance was. However, because I'm in North America, it was not released here. It is not here still. And it's just really hard to come by. And it's also a designer fragrance. And I'm a little snobby when it comes to fragrances. And I tend to lean more towards niche than designer. Usually when I hear about designer fragrances, I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like I don't really gravitate towards designer fragrances. So when I heard YSL had came out with Babycat, I'm just like, okay, first of all, cool name, bruh. But it didn't do anything for me. I wasn't very excited about it. And the other release that was available, the YSL Libre Le Parfum that came out, I have smelled all the Libres and it just wasn't for me. You know, like YSL fragrances that I've smelled are just kind of a big whatever for me. You know, there's never been anything that I particularly was fond of. So I was like, okay, Babycat, whatever. But then the crowd, the hype, the noise from the peanut gallery started to grow and grow and grow. And I was like, man, I've got to look into whatever this Babycat fragrance is about. So flash forward today, I have decided to get a small decant from Scent Split, and I was hesitant about buying this decant because one of the things I had heard buzzing around the interwebs was that Babycat was comparable to Rosendo Matu's number 5, which I own and I love that scent a lot. It is musky, it is sensual, it is everything I need it to be. And it also has a nice sweetness without being too sweet. So I was like, well, if I already have this, do I really need to even smell YSL's Babycat? And honestly, I'm glad I got this decant because in my opinion, it is nothing like Rosendo Matu's number 5. This is a whole nother beast on its own. These two fragrances are very different. They're very distinctive scents. So I got a small decant of Babycat and I decided to play around with it before filming just because I really wanted to get a better idea of what it would be, how it would last on my skin throughout a longer period of time. So this won't exactly be my first time smelling this fragrance, but I'm gonna put some on my skin and I'll put a little bit on paper. It smells good, guys. It's a good scent. In the opening, it just smells very woodsy to me. A little bit of greenness and woodsiness at the top. It has a smell like outside. It smells like the outdoors, like you're walking through nature with your lumberjack boyfriend, your grizzly bear, flannel wearing Paul Bunyan of a man. Definitely is unisex. Okay, so this has top notes of black and pink pepper, elemi, middle notes of olibanum, saffron, base notes of bourbon vanilla, suede, and cedar. That's the outside smell that I'm getting from this. It smells, not to discredit the masterpiece of a fragrance that I think this is by saying it reminds me a little bit of Pine Sol. The opening is definitely very woodsy, very fresh. It smells a little, kind of has a mild darkness to it. Yeah, and on my skin, that almost like pine, almost like a ghost of a shell of a pine scent on my skin. It's just smells like the outdoors. It smells like the great outdoors. It smells like wood and fresh air. I will say that since I've already smelled this in the dry down, the opening to me leans a little more masculine, very slightly more masculine than it does in the dry down. In the dry down, it gets so much more sweeter, and the woodiness kind of falls into the background a bit. The scent profile of this is just absolutely beautiful. I can pick up some of the spiciness from the pepper. I definitely smell the elemi. I can smell the saffron, the incense, the beautiful vanilla in the dry down. It's just like, whoa. I do get suede, and I definitely get some woodiness from that cedar. Actually, I pick up all the notes in here. I didn't think I would like the note of elemi or eleme, not really sure how you pronounce that, as much as I do. There is a nice like bright freshness to this, mixed sort of with like a smoky wood scent. That's just kind of in the opening. That to me tones down a little bit more my skin in the dry down. And then there is this just scrumptious vanilla that comes through, almost like kind of the sweetness of vanilla frosting, still mixing with the woodsy notes. That cedar in here comes through as well. The cedar is very reminiscent of the cedar that's in Penhaligon's Babylon. The dry down is a little bit more feminine than the opening, which I like. It's much more sweeter. And there's something addictive because, like I said, I was playing around with this beforehand, and I had only sprayed the top of my hand maybe once or twice, and that scent was overpowering perfume I had already sprayed on me throughout the day, that I had sprayed maybe 5 to 6 times. And this fragrance was kicking butt and taking names. Like, I smelled this over the fragrance I had on for the entire day. And it lasted more than 3 or 4 hours on the skin just with one spray alone. That is not bad at all. I did not think I was going to like this as much as I do. And I definitely thought it was going to smell a lot more like Rosendo number 5. And I'm glad it doesn't, because this is unique. This is not, in my opinion, anywhere near Rosendo number 5. Two very distinctive fragrances. It's the sweetness of that, I believe, bourbon vanilla that's in this scent that comes through so well. The vanilla in here is reminiscent of almost the same kind of vanilla that's in Mason Mataha's Escapade Gourmand. Although that vanilla is more sugary sweet, this one is not as sugary sweet as that. But it's almost like a fluffy, almost marshmallowy kind of sweet, mixed with those wood scents and the resins. This is so good. Perfectly unisex in my opinion. If you're a guy and you don't mind scents that are on the sweeter side, you probably will really like this one. Man, I mean, I've never wanted to smell more like outside a day in my life. Now, do I believe that this was worth all the hype that I've seen about it ever since it was released? Yes, most definitely. This is a very unique fragrance, and unfortunately it is very hard to come by in the United States, and I've seen maybe one place selling it for almost $700. Not on my watch. As much as I would love a full bottle of this scent because I think it's worth it. Oh man, it is so good. This is, I think, a true masterpiece. And I don't really say that about many designer fragrances. This really is blowing my mind. I can't fit this with any other thing that I've smelled before. It makes me really want to have a boyfriend. Is that weird? Have you ever had a fragrance that smelled so good that you want to smell it on a guy? That I would love to smell this on a guy. It has a similar sexy vibe to it, like Absolute Aphrodisiac does. They don't smell the same, they don't smell alike, but they're both very sexy fragrances, and I can't stop smelling. Like, seriously, before filming, when I had it on throughout the day, just getting little hits of it here and there, and I was surprised because I did not have a lot of it on. I have a lot of it on now compared to earlier in the day, but I only had maybe literally one or two little pumps of this on my hand, and I kept smelling it. And I was surprised. I was like, what is that? What is that?
Oh my God, what is that?
I wasn't even smelling the original perfume I had on throughout the day, and I had sprayed heavy on that. So I know if I were to have a full bottle of this, it would last. I don't have any doubt in my mind that this probably would be an amazing projector, probably leave a scent trail like no other. I would be surprised if it didn't, just based on two little pumps of it on my hand. And it smells so good. Wow. You know, Yves Saint Laurent, you did this time. You didn't get me with the Libra. Not a fan of that, but this is amazing. Such a gorgeous fragrance. And this fragrance definitely has gone to number one on my wish list of scents that I must have. This is a definite must have. If any of you out there can find a seller, and if you're lucky to be in Europe and not in North America like me, you should get your nose on this. Some way, somehow, buy a bottle. Just buy a bottle. No, don't do that. You know, get your nose on it first, of course, before you go blind buying anything. I don't recommend blind buying fragrances, but you can get your nose on this, or maybe even get a decant. In my opinion, this is full bottle worthy. And hopefully I will be saving my coins and hunting down somewhere I can find it for a reasonable price. Not almost $700, because we're not doing that here. But definitely one that's on my wish list now. The sweetness comes through. Like, it's the dry down for me, okay? The sweetness comes through on this scent like a lovely vanilla cupcake. It's very well, it's beautifully blended though. It's such a beautifully blended fragrance. And definitely full bottle worthy. I will be saving my coins for this one, okay? This feels like a woodsy, fresh gourmand that I need in my collection. And if you're looking for any other gourmands like I am, please check out these videos over here. Thanks. Peace.